Good afternoon, Wolverines. This is Miss Hayden, your principal. Nice to see you all here today. We're here for our live virtual orientation. For those of you that can make it tonight, if you would like to join us at 5:30, we have a club rush here on campus in front of the theater, and we'll have a repeat of this orientation at 6 in the theater for you. So if you'd like to come live, come on over, come check out all we have to offer. I would like to introduce, before we get started with anything, Paula Curia. She is our senior class president, and she is going to lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now we have a special treat. Zaylin Martinez is going to sing the national anthem for us.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave?
Beautiful job, beautiful job. Unfortunately, that cut short, so we're going to move on, okay? But that was absolutely gorgeous. We truly have some talented individuals here at Wellington High. Okay, so the first thing is, and I will be sending out this PowerPoint to everyone tonight, so you will have access to all the links. You can go over it in detail. First things first, at Wellington High, we set things up slightly differently than many high schools. You know, I am a firm believer that the needs of our ninth graders are significantly different than the needs of our 12th graders. So we have what we consider teams, okay? So we have a ninth grade team, a 10th grade team, we have an 11th grade team, and a 12th grade team, okay? Within the ninth grade team, we have an assistant principal, we have a dean, and we have 2 counselors, okay? And then we have our jack of all trades, Coach H, okay? So our assistant principal for ninth grade is Miss Magda Dominique. Her dean of students is Mr. Lee Tanton, okay? And then we have, for our counselors for ninth grade, we have Mr. Travis Gray. He is doing last names A through L in ninth grade. And we have Ms. Julia Say doing last names M through Z in ninth grade, okay? Mr. Avila, which is Coach H, he works with our 9th and 10th graders and works on intervention and prevention behavioral strategies, okay? For 10th grade, we have, again, an assistant principal, Mr. Kozlowski. We have a dean of students, Mr. Mark Beretti. And then we have, again, 2 counselors, Miss Megan Donnelly, A through L, last names, and Miss LaQuanya Morgan. She used to be Miss LaQuanya Avant. Same person. Now it's Miss Morgan, okay? So that is your 10th grade team. And then for 11th grade, your assistant principal is Dr. Eric Moore with the Dean of Students, Ms. Melissa McCauley. Okay. 12th grade assistant principals are Elizabeth Calvente Torres and Tanya Grant. Okay. And then we have 4 counselors that handle both 11th and 12th grade. They stay with the students for 11th and 12th grade because we're talking about college. They need to get to know the kids and understand what their needs are as we're leading into, the 4-year universities and, everything that is required with that. So you can see the 4 counselors there with their alpha behind it. Okay. We also have a college and career coach. Her name is Miss Jean. She is absolutely amazing. She sets up all of our college and career fairs, our college visits, vocational fairs, anything having to do with college and career. She puts on our college and career fair nights so that our students know how to write their essays. They know how to write their applications for the different colleges they want to go to and what have you. Okay. We also have our ESOL counselor. That's Miss Gallardo. And we have Mr. Christopher Romano. He is our community and night school assistant principal. So if you're interested in any of those courses that we have in the evening, he is your man. Okay. He is also our assistant principal over athletics. Okay. You can see here as well, I have who to turn to at Wellington High School. If you are receiving my call outs and you're receiving my emails, you also receive this in the last 2 call outs. Okay. All of their emails are linked here for you. Anyone you should need to get a hold of is here. Right now, our nurse has not been assigned to us just yet. So if you have medicine that you need us to have, or something of that nature, or there are things you need us to know, you will reach out to Mr. Kozlowski. Actually, Coach H, can you go back 1 slide so they could see Mr. Kozlowski? He's our 10th grade assistant principal. He is also our health room designee for when the nurse is not here, along with Mr. John Rakes. So you can go to the next slide. Okay, so Mr. John Rakes, I will send that out because it's not right there right now. Okay, but I will send out his email. Okay, those are our health room designees for when the nurse is not here. But everything else is there. You can read over it, reach out to whomever you need to reach out to get the information you need. The easiest way to get a hold of people is via email. You have to remember, this year we have close to 2,800 students. So email is the best way. Okay. All right. Moving right along. Here is our bell schedule for this year. School starts at 7:30. We have 7 periods in a day. Okay. First period through 7th period. Period 4 is our extended period where we have our video announcements and we do any lessons that are required by the state, such as SLL lessons or things of that nature. Okay. So period 4 is extended. Period 1, we do our Pledge of Allegiance and moment of silence. Lunches are all around 5th period. All right. Lunches are based on 5th period and the location of your classroom, 5th period. Okay. So if your classroom, 5th period, is in the 100 building, 400 building, 500 building, 600 building, PE or portables, students would go straight to lunch right after 4th period. Okay. And then they would go to 5th period after lunch. If their class is in the 200 building, 300 building, LDLC, chorus, band, and theater, they will go to class first. They'll go to their 5th period class, and then they'll go to lunch after 5th period. All right. It all works out. Don't worry. On the first day, there will be plenty of guidance. Not to worry. Okay. But that is how our day goes. Next. Visitors. This is a common question. Okay. So visitors will enter through the main gate. Okay. Over where we have our checkpoint. All right. Where the light is. Okay. So visitors can enter. However, we don't allow visitors on campus, okay, unless you are escorted and you have an appointment, all right? School safety is our number one priority, as I'm sure you can understand. So we don't want to allow visitors on campus unless you have an appointment or in case of an emergency, okay? And that begins at 8 a.m. So school starts from 7:30. We really don't want to have any visitors between 7:30 and 8 because we're really trying to get things settled down, get everyone where they need to be, and everyone settled, right? And then after 8 o'clock, that's when our appointments will begin, or obviously if there's an emergency, we'll handle that, right? But we try not to make any appointments before 8 o'clock, all right? No visitors are allowed on campus during class changes, which I'm sure you can understand. That's when we are most vulnerable. That's when we have 2,800 students in the hallway switching classes, right? I don't want any visitors walking around while our students are walking through campus, right? So we also don't allow visitors during lunch or during emergency drills, all right? All visitors will run through the Raptor system in our point of entry, or even at the gate at the little house in the front. Okay, we ask you for your ID. We run your ID through the system, and as long as it's clear, you come on through. Okay, the person at the gate will call our point of entry, let them know you're coming, so that we can plan accordingly. All right. Visitors must comply with all directions from site administrators related to health and safety, but not limited to usage and passage through common areas and shared spaces. Visitors do not have unrestricted access to our campus, again, because we have your children on campus. We have 2,800 students on campus, right? So visitors cannot just roam the campus as they please. They have to be escorted to the location that they're supposed to be in, okay? Okay, next slide. Our cafeteria. So we still have free breakfast and lunch for all students. That's so exciting. Everybody can eat for free. Breakfast is served daily starting at 6:45, okay? We do shut it down at 7:30, when school starts because the kids are supposed to be in class, all right? Free supper is also available from 2:50 to 3:30, okay? We usually will feed our athletes that stay after school. Some of our clubs will sign up with the cafeteria to get free supper, so that's exciting. Any of our students that want a second meal during lunch will have to pay for those items a la carte. All right, so lunch is free, but if they want additional items, they'll have to pay for those a la carte. And then there are certain snacks and drinks that do cost money on the spot. Okay, so those are probably the more exciting ones. So your kids will work through it. All right. Student IDs will be required. So all students must have their ID and badge in order to get lunch. Okay. Next slide. And let's talk about some required supplies here for Wellington High School. So we will issue your student a Chromebook. Every student gets a Chromebook, okay, and a charger. It's very important that you take care of that Chromebook and charger. Very important. We will loan you one, but it's a loaner, okay? So you definitely have to take care of it. If it gets broken, if it's fixable, then we do the best we can to send it to get fixed and not charge you, right? But if it's not fixable, then there are fines and fees that will go along with it, all right? School ID is required at all times on campus, all times, and students are to wear their ID around their neck, okay? The IDs are breakaway, so if, something happens, it absolutely breaks away. Every student or every grade level has their own lanyard color, and we do this so that we can easily identify our students and where they're supposed to be, okay? So all students, you have to wear the Wellington High School lanyard and the ID, and it's going to be around your neck. We are not attaching them to backpacks. We are not keeping them in our pockets. They are to be worn at all times on campus. Okay. And then all remaining supplies. So those are your two main supplies, right? Everyone has to bring their Chromebook to school every day, and everyone has to wear their ID every day. That's all I really ask for, right? All remaining supplies, I would wait. I know a lot of people like to go and buy what they need to buy, and we've done that all through elementary and middle school. And I remember when my kids were in elementary school, I would get that list from the teacher, and I'd be spending like $300 on supplies. And can I just tell you, I still have most of those supplies at my house. Okay. So we are going to wait until they get into their class, and their teacher is going to let them know exactly what they need specifically for that class, so that you do not have to go out and purchase things that you don't need. Okay. Next. Specifically for math though, okay, I will tell you up front, all right, these are the appropriate calculators for the different level math courses, all right? So if your child, notice college or Algebra 1A, regular and honors, all of our students will be using that TI-30XA, which is the same calculator they would use on the Algebra 1 end of course exam, all right? And that's the same calculator that they would use for geometry. So, and math for college readiness and Algebra 2 regular and honors. So it is a good investment. You want your students to use these calculators. Don't move to a different type of calculator, because they wouldn't be able to use that when they take an exam. You definitely want them to be comfortable and truly know how to use the calculator that they are able to use later. Okay. If your student is in higher level math classes, these are the calculators that would be required. So those are things that you can go ahead and get upfront if you wish. Okay. So as I was saying before, campus safety and security is our number one priority. Policy 2.3817 is our campus security and safety policy. Every school is required to have one armed security person on campus at all times. So we're lucky because we have two. And they are amazing, and they are coming back from last year. So we have Officer Hennessy and Officer Loriano. Both are very well experienced and wonderful human beings, and they are great to work with, and they are great with our kids. Okay, so we are so excited to have them. We also have what's called Alyssa's Law, which means every single staff member on this campus has a badge that has a panic button on it. Okay, and that is our emergency alert system. And so when a staff member pushes that button a certain amount of times, that alerts everyone to come to the rescue. Okay, so again, campus security is our number one priority, and we really do try to keep everyone in the community involved. We do have 2 points of entry, right? We have where the parent drop off is in the back, but our main single point of entry where all visitors are to come in is in the front, and you have to be buzzed in and then buzzed out. Okay, so very important. So all of our exterior gates are locked and monitored through school hours, and all visitors are screened and appointments are preferred. Okay, our classrooms are locked at all times. All classroom doors are always locked at all times. And our staff and our school police are always doing perimeter checks. Okay, we do have behavior threat management teams on our campus. All of our staff will be trained in active assailant training by October 1st. Majority of my staff is already trained, and we do have emergency drills. Okay, next. And the school police mission and values are to ensure the safety and security of all district schools and facilities, okay, and to provide excellent customer service. So they are here for you, okay? So if you need to reach out to them, I do have their emails on the who to contact form. that we showed you in the beginning and is in our standard operating procedures that I have sent home the last couple of call outs, okay? And they are committed to community engagement. Their role is to build relationships with our students, build trust, and, you know, really just make our campus the safest place in Palm Beach County. Next. And then, as always, if you see something, say something. And we have these posters all over campus for Fortify Florida. Okay. Our students are really good at using it. Okay. Our families are really good at using it. Don't stop. Okay. Because once you fill out a Fortify Florida, it comes to me, it goes to school police, it goes to, I believe, even the sheriff's office gets it. So you definitely want to use this to your benefit. If you hear something, say something, and you can remain anonymous. All right. Okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the parent drop off and pick up. I've spoken about this before. This year we have 20, right now I'm at 2783, 2,783 students. We have a lot of students, okay? But we do start school at 7:30. And if a student is late, they are still late. So we do have to plan accordingly, okay? I'm going to highly recommend that if you drop off your student at school, that we collaborate to come up with some sort of carpool. We need to cut back on the amount of kids that are being driven to school, okay? If you can ride the bus, if you are more than 2 miles away, ride the bus, all right? It's a lot. It's a lot. We're one of those schools that has just one street. You know, many high schools have, you know, they're on 2 streets, you know, and so there's a couple of places that you could work with. All of our kids, all of our drivers come into a very specific area. All of our student drivers, our faculty and staff all come in, all 400 faculty and staff coming in at the same time. They all come in through the main entry, and the buses come in through the main entry, and our parents drop off just north of of the light where the marquee is. Okay. So parents who plan to drive their student to school, you will enter the campus. So if you're coming from Wellington Trace, right? If you're coming down Greenview Shores and you're coming from Wellington Trace, you're going to stay in your right lane and you're just going to merge right in, and you're going to make a right in, go around the loop, keep following everybody until the whole group has stopped. Nothing drives people crazy more than when you pull in and you just stop where you want to stop and drop off your kid, and you've got 100 other cars behind you, right? So you want to come in, go around the loop, okay, and stop when you see everybody stops. And it's amazing how we manage to get like at least 40 cars in through the loop. So the line moves quickly as long as everyone's following directions, okay? So you'll come in, pull up as far as you can, and drop your kid, go close the door, and you just make a right out, okay? Then if you're coming from South Shore, all right, you're going to come down South Shore, you're going to make a U-turn at Morning Glory, and then you're going to come back around. You will see signs. There are signs that say no U-turn, no U-turn, no U-turn. Do not make that U-turn, because we do have the sheriff's office coming up and down the Greenview Shores. So once you get to Morning Glory, you can make a U-turn, get into the line, and follow the line, okay? It may look long, but again, I have tested it out at the peak of traffic, okay? It has never taken me, honestly, it's never taken me more than 10 minutes from the end of the line, which could sometimes be all the way back by Publix, right? It's never taken me more, once I'm in that line, 10 minutes to keep moving and get around. All right. So, but everyone has to follow directions, and please don't try to cut people off, because that just stops everything. Right. So please work together to make this a happy experience. All right. This is a visual of the drop-off line. Okay. you could see that everybody, they pull into the right lane. But if you look at the circle, notice how that circle just keeps moving. It just keeps moving. All right. So the cars will go all the way around, and where that red arrow was is where everyone would stop. But it just keeps moving, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. It just goes. Okay. Do not stop until you're instructed to stop. And it moves as long as people aren't cutting each other off. Honestly, I know everyone's in a hurry, but we're all in a hurry. All right. So if we respect each other, we're going to get through it, and we'll get through it together. All right. Once the line comes to a complete stop, so now you can see how the line came to a complete stop, and now they're out of there again. Okay. So it works as long as everyone works together. All right. Next slide. Couple things. Again, plan accordingly on any given morning. Just keep this in mind. We could have anywhere from 15 to 1,800 cars dropping kids off. But we always seem to manage to close that gate at 7:30. All right. So again, if you work together, it's going to be rough the first couple weeks, getting people trained, getting people, moving through the line appropriately, but bear with us and it'll come together. All right. Gates will open at 6:45. We do open a little early for you guys so that you can get through. And then we open the gates again at 2:30 for afternoon pickup. Okay. And again, you want to pull forward as much as you can. Do not drop off in the road. Okay. Greenview Shores is extremely busy in the morning. So please don't drop off students in the road. And any student that is walking, they need to go all the way to the light to cross the road. We can't play Frogger and come across the street, okay? We need to go all the way to the light, wait for the walking signal, and then cross the road. Please do not drop your kids off across the road where the parent drop-off is. There's no light there. There's no crosswalk there, okay? It's extremely dangerous. All students, if they're walking, need to be coming where the light is, okay, and go through the crosswalk. All right. Let's see. If you are riding the bus, which I am highly encouraging, please make sure you register your ride so that the bus driver knows to expect you. And the more people that register their ride, the more buses we will have, right? The district will know, how many buses we need. So please make sure you register your ride. All right. Next slide. And that's all I have. And I am going to turn it on over to Adriana Altamirano, our student government president.
Hello, I'm Adriana. I'm your student government president, and I'm going to be talking about the clubs that we have here at Wellington High School. We have so many clubs and many different opportunities for all sorts of kids to join in. We have stuff like Environmental Club, we have HOSA, we have Key Club. They're all amazing clubs, and we have so many, and any kid can join any club that they want to. We also have honor societies at our school. We have WHS, we have ASL, we have dance, we have science. There's so many opportunities for kids to join, and personally, I highly recommend that your kid or you get involved as much as you can, because it honestly makes the high school experience that much better. I did it, and I personally enjoy all the clubs and activities that I've been a part of, and I highly recommend. And if you don't see a club on here that you don't necessarily want to join, or you want to create a club, you can reach out to our club sponsor and activity coordinator, Ms. Gemma Ford, and you can discuss creating a club. We'll be able to find you a sponsor for your club, and you'll be able to start it up. And moving on to the next slide. We have Dress for Success. So this is dealing with the dress code. We can't have any visible undergarments or exposed midriffs. We can't have see-through clothing, and all shorts and skirts that you wear, they must be at least to your mid-thigh. And obviously on graphic t-shirts and stuff, there's no vulgarity or anything inappropriate on your shirt, and we have to have appropriate footwear. We must make sure that all our shirts have sleeves on them, and we have to be respectful to ourselves and others. The dress code is in effect for the entire school day. This also applies to students who are dismissed earlier in the day and who return to campus. Wellington High School follows the dress code found in the school year 23 Student and Family Handbook. That's all I have for you. Now I'm going to give it off to Miss Dominique.
Thank you very much. Hi, everyone. I am Miss Dominique, the ninth grade assistant principal. I am very excited to serve my new freshmen and my new Wolverine this year, and looking forward to really getting to know each and every one of you as you are coming in. So I will be discussing with you today a little bit about attendance and also a few items relating to our discipline policies here. So the first thing I want to remind everyone that your success and the success of every student here is very important to us. So attendance really matter. The more you are here on campus, the more successful you will be. So it's very important for your academic and social growth that you are here with us every day and that you arrive here on time. So, with regard to excessive absences, I do know from experience that it does result in poor performances because if you're not present in your classroom, you will not receive the quality instruction that you need in order for you to be successful. So make sure, please, that you attend and you come to us. We are looking forward to seeing you every day on our campus. Just to also let you know, absences do impact also your grade. So if you do also miss 50%, so if you arrive here tardy, um, and you miss 50% or more of your class periods, that is considered absence. So let's say the class period start at 7:30 and you show up to class at 8:05. You will be marked absent even though you are in class. So it's very important for you to be on time and to arrive on campus in a timely manner. With regard to student responsibility, if you are absent for whatever reason, please note that it is your responsibility to ask your teacher for your makeup work or to make up your tests or quizzes that you miss. So it's important that you have a close relationship with your teacher and really communicate with them and making sure that when you return on campus from an absence that you obtain those information or assignment or work from your teachers. It doesn't matter whether it's an excuse as well or an excuse absence. You are, by law, can make up those work, and 100% of the credit will be given to you. So if you absent one day and you come back the next day, you will be giving an additional day to make up the work that you missed the day that you were absent with no penalty whatsoever. So it's very important for you to know those things so that you understand the importance of your, your responsibility with regard to making up the work when you're absent, but also understanding the importance of being here every day on time so that you can receive the quality instruction that you deserve and that we want to provide you here on our campus. So make sure you're here on time every day. With regard to absence with COVID, I just want to share with everyone that you must follow the Department of Health requirement and that we do not offer a virtual option similar to what we did during the time of COVID. So classes are live in person, they are not recorded. However, you have the option during those absences, of course, to communicate with your teacher, to go into the Google Classroom so that you can do the work along and whatever you're missing that was live in the classroom, when you come back, you can make up those assignments and everything else that was done in the classroom through communicating with your teacher. The absence from COVID is considered an absence from illness. So if you want that to be excused, make sure that you do provide us with the doctor's notes so that we will write it as an excused absence for you. But it really doesn't matter whether it's excused or an excuse in terms of you know the numbers of days that you can be absent for the impact on your the credit that you can have. However, if you feel that you are sick and you have symptoms, we do ask that for you to follow the doctor's order and stay at home. We will take care of you when you come back. Your teacher will be there to support you and provide you with the makeup work that you need in order for you to be successful. So your safety and also your health is also our number one priority. With regard to tardies, just wanting to let everybody know that this is kind of what we do in terms of ensuring that student have access to their classroom. Let's say if they're tardies, there are kiosks throughout the campus, different buildings. So if a student happen to be tardies, that they can report to those kiosks and actually get a tardy pass. They must have the tardy pass from the kiosk in order for them to have access to the classroom. So it's very important that you stop first there, obtain the pass, and then go to your classroom, provide that pass to your teacher, and then get the pass back from your teacher, because that pass will contain information that you'll need. The first three tardies are really simply student warnings. An email will be sent to the parents, or a phone call through our conductor system that we have, just informing you that your child is absent. After the third tardy, however, there are discipline consequences, because it's important for them to be in class on time, especially at beginning of courses where you get to do the bell ringer or do not, to allow the teacher to kind of engage them in the classroom and the learning. During the fourth, the fifth, and the sixth tardies will result in a student having an administrative lunch detention, like a 30-minute detention that will be held during the lunchtime. If those detentions, for example, are not served, then that escalates to a 1 hour detention after school. And if that is not served after school, then escalate again to a discipline referral for insubordination. We do not want that to happen. We will make sure that the kiosk will provide you with a reminder of when you have to go to your detention, and we also will follow up with you as well as a reminder. But it is very important that you are responsible in ensuring that you serve your detention. If you have more than 6 tardies on your 7th, 8th, and 9th tardies, you'll result in a 1 hour after school detention. If you do not serve that 1 hour after school detention, please note that it will escalate to a 2 hour after school detention. And if you don't, then you'll escalate to a discipline referral. Again, everything that we do here, it's really progressive discipline. It's all about, ensuring and giving you the opportunity to learn, and so that it doesn't escalate to a discipline referral. So we will remind you, and the tardy kiosk will also give you kind of a reminder of when you have to serve. Beyond the 10th, that's when we kind of concern you're going to have a 2 hour detention, but we really will like to know why. So because of that, a team will come together most likely to kind of discuss what is causing or leading to your frequent tardies, because we do know that tardies impact your success in the classroom. And at that time, beyond the 10th, you get a 2 hour detention. But beyond that, we'll have a conversation really in understanding how we can better support you and help you to make sure that you can get on class on time, so that you don't receive the discipline consequence or referral that, can result of not serving it or having too many tardies. So we will work with you. Parents will work with you, students, throughout that process. And hopefully we will not get to the point of 10 tardies, and everything will work out very well here. But should something happen, or there's any situation arising at home that can't result in a frequent tardy, I'll ask that you reach out to me, to reach out to the deans or the counselor to let us know of your situation before it escalates to that point. Next. So now I am going to talk about technology related classroom instruction and the new, bill HB 379. The key point to take from that is that student may not use, their wireless communication device during instructional time, except when a teacher allowed a student to use it in the classroom for instructional purposes only. So if you have a phone that you usually use, please, we ask that you put the phone away in your backpack and keep it there. You can put it on silence. Your teacher will actually give you specific instruction on how and what that looked in their classroom. So I will ask that you please abide by that. So some teacher will designate it, probably a place for you to place that device. If not, they will ask you to leave them in your backpack. Please make sure you follow that instruction. This is not just a teacher. This is really a law that was passed that we must follow. So it's very important for you to understand that you cannot have your phone in your classroom and use that phone in the classroom during your instructional time. And also note that you cannot use and certain social media such as TikTok during school and the wireless. So it's very important for you to refrain from using that as well, or taking videos or TikTok thing in school on our campus also. So we ask that you only use the Wi-Fi through your Chromebooks, and you're using the school Wi-Fi network for instructional purposes only. It's really authorized just for that purpose. So that kind of gives you a little bit of an idea of the key components that we have. And I'm now going to pass it to your wonderful school counselor, Mr. Gray, that will be working with you as well this year. Thank you.
Hey guys, I'm Mr. Gray. I am a ninth grade school counselor. I'll be working with all ninth grade students with the last name A through L. And I just wanted to go over some of our graduation requirements today. I know most of you guys are ninth graders, so this is looking ahead. But one thing I did notice this morning as schedules went live, I've had a few students reach out that maybe had 2 science classes or 2 social studies classes on their schedule. So please take a look at that. And we want to get that cleaned up before we get started next week. As far as graduation is concerned, this is a little breakdown here. You can see for our core classes, 4 math classes are required, 4 English classes are required, 3 science, and 3 social studies. So those are your core classes. I'll talk a little bit more on the next slide. We obviously will encourage, even though they only require 3 sciences and 3 social studies, we'll encourage our students to take 4 as things get more demanding when applying for colleges. 24 credits is required for graduation. So you can see if you add those all up, your electives would count as 8 additional academic electives, in addition to a physical education class, which is personal fitness, and any other PE class. And then 1 performing and fine arts class is also required. Down at the bottom there, it talks about GPA. GPA, a 2.0 is the minimum GPA required for graduation. It's also the minimum GPA required for to participate in any sports. So that is a C average, and that will be calculated at the end of the second quarter with their first semester grade. So we will be communicating that message to all the ninth graders coming in to make sure that they're keeping their grades up and staying in good standing towards graduation. 1 online course has been required for graduation. We've been told that that is going to not be a requirement, but we don't have anything in writing, so we're kind of on hold with that one. 20 community service hours is the minimum required for graduation. Again, we encourage more for different reasons I'll discuss here in the next slide. And then last, they have to pass the Algebra 1 EOC, which many of them will be taking this year or maybe have already taken in middle school, and then the 10th grade FSA ELA test. As far as the college track graduation requirements, so for those that are going to attend a 4-year university, some additional things that they're going to want to keep in mind. Instead of 3 years of science, we'll recommend that they take 4 years, as well as math and English and social studies. And then when they're choosing electives, it's good if they can choose academic electives, and many of our academic electives have different levels. So if they take 1 class for level 1, it really looks good if they continue on through level 2 and 3, and many of them have 4 during their 4 years here. 100+ hours of community service for these competitive schools, and if they're working towards the Bright Future scholarships. 3 years of a foreign language, so 2 years is required for any of our public state schools here. But again, colleges are looking to get more in addition to that, a 3rd year and potentially even a 4th year for the very competitive schools. It's not a graduation requirement, but for those on that college track, they're going to want to look at doing that. Having a 3.0 unweighted GPA. Like I said before, 2.0 is required for graduation. but most colleges are looking for above that 3.0, and they're also looking for a high weighted GPA as well. So the honors classes and the ACE and AP classes are recommended. And then lastly, the competitive scores on their ACT and SAT tests. All right, I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Fairclough. She's our 11th and 12th grade counselor.
Thank you, Mr. Gray. I am Danielle Fairclough. I am one of the 9 school counselors here at Wellington High School. My alpha is E through I, and I deal with 11th and 12th grade counselors. Speaking of rigor and being college bound, we at Wellington offer the ACE program, and ACE stands for Advanced International Certificate of Education. It's an accelerated method of study, academic study offered through Cambridge, and it's offered worldwide at schools and colleges in over about 161 countries, I believe. Students must complete the ACE diploma within a 25-month period. That is about 3 consecutive school years. So you have to complete it within 9th, 10th, 11th, or 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. They are required to take 7 classes or earn 7 points in specific categories. So in groups 1, 2, and 3, they have to earn at least 1 point. And in addition to that, they take the ACE Global Perspectives course. The other 3 points can be from any category. The ACE diploma candidates who complete the entire 7-course curriculum and pass all 7 exams will earn their ACE diploma. Another benefit is that the online course, the fine arts, and the PE requirements are waived for graduation. Since they are college level courses, they will earn college credits. One of the biggest perks, though, of course, is this is an excellent pathway for you to waive your GPA and SAT requirements to receive the Florida Academic Scholar level of Bright Futures, which is the highest level. So moving on, let's talk a little bit more about Bright Futures. So students may receive funding for 1 level of Bright Futures. There are 4. There's the Florida Academic Scholars, the Florida Medallion Scholars, the Gold Seal Vocational Scholars, and the Gold Seal CAPE Scholars. Most of our students fall within those first 3 categories. So let's talk a little bit more about the Florida Academic Scholars. Next slide. So for the Florida Academic Scholars, it pays 100% of your tuition. Again, one of the benefits of the ACE diploma is if you earn the ACE diploma and have 100 hours of either community service or work hours, you will earn this level. And it does waive the testing and the GPA requirements. So you are not required to have those test scores. Now, I will make 1 point about this particular slide. For the graduates of 2024, if you are not earning your test or your ACE diploma, you have to have a 3.5 GPA, and the SAT score went up 10 points. So you have to have a 1340 this year, not a 1330. And ACT requirements are 29, and service hours or work hours are 100. The next level is the Florida Medallion Schools scholarship. That earns you 75% of your tuition paid. You have a 3.0 GPA, 1210 for the ACT, 25, and service hours 75. Next slide. Another way to earn Bright Futures is the Gold Seal Vocational. Most of our students don't really earn the CAPE, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the Gold Seal Vocational. Those are for our students that are enrolled in our career and technical education programs, such as culinary, early childhood, tech design, ComTech. If you earn a minimum of 3 credits in a single career and technical education program and meet the GPA, testing, and service hour requirements, you can earn the Gold Seal Vocational. That's why it's so important that when you are choosing electives, you choose the electives that you can build from year to year, not one-off electives. So like taking the ACE curriculum in addition to being enrolled in these types of programs are really important. It kind of doubles your chances of getting bright futures. Next slide. Okay, so there are other ways to earn bright futures through National Merit Scholars, the National Hispanic Scholars. Again, we talked about the ACE diploma. IB we don't offer here, but we do offer, again, the ACE curriculum. So what's the difference between qualifying with ACE diploma or ACE curriculum? ACE curriculum just waives the GPA requirement. ACE curriculum says that you took the 7 required courses, but you didn't necessarily pass all 7 exams. That's the curriculum. So they waive the GPA, but you're still required to have the test scores and the service hours or work hours. Again, you cannot combine them. It has to be either service hours or the work hours. So let's talk a little bit about chain of communication. So really for our students, we are preparing them for adulthood. So we like for them to advocate for themselves. So step 1 is always the student initiating this process. So the student wants to contact the teacher and hopefully they can come to some type of resolution. Maybe they're struggling in class, so they reach out to the teacher, I'm not doing well. So they come up with some type of resolution how to solve that. If for some reason that doesn't work, or if the student feels like he's uncomfortable talking to the teacher, hopefully he or she reaches out to the counselor. The counselor will then, more than likely, reach out to the teacher. And they will hopefully then reach out to the student and come up with some type of resolution. If that doesn't work, then it should go to the AP. And the AP will more than likely go back to the teacher. So it always circles back to the teacher. Why? Because it's the student and the teacher that have the relationship, okay? If for some reason it doesn't work out with the AP, then the parents will more than likely get involved. And we want the parents to go through that same process. We want the parents to contact the teacher, and the teacher, if for some reason it doesn't work out with the teacher, parent, please contact the counselor. That doesn't work out, parent, contact the AP. It should really never get to the AP or the counselor really. But if it does, again, that AP will always circle back to the teacher. One thing you will notice is that the principal is not on this slide. The principal should never have to get involved if we're going through this chain of communication. Okay, so I know Ms. Hayden always likes to hear just positive things. If you're calling her about something positive, something went well, that's great. But we really like to handle things ourselves, and we like for it to stop at the teacher. As long as there's that communication, it should never go beyond that. Next slide. So let's talk about who to turn to. So if you're looking at this, the Academy questions should all go to Ms. Douglas, Ms. Vanessa Douglas. She's our new Academy coordinator this year. She'll be great. ACE questions should all go to Ms. Drucker, of course, and I believe on the previous slide with some more information for Ms. Drucker as well. All AP questions are going to Mr. Tanton. ESOL, we have a new coordinator this year. Mr. Carrera is our coordinator, and Claudia Gallardo is our ESOL counselor. All ESE questions, we do have 2 new ESE coordinaters. That is Ms. Wilson and Ms. Eichner. Also, college and career questions should go to Ms. Rose Myrtle Lewis. It is never too early to reach out for college and career. I always feel that at freshman year, you should know pretty much what classes you're going to take from freshman year to your senior year. There is that track and that path if you start early. So please don't hesitate to reach out to her, take advantage of all of the parent workshops, the student workshops that are being offered, the college fairs, the career fairs. Again, it's never too early to start that. And Ms. Lewis is absolutely wonderful. So I'm going to now hand it off to Ms. Vanessa Douglas, our Academy coordinator.
Hi, my name is Vanessa Douglas. I'm the new Academy coordinator here at Wellington High School. At Wellington High School, we have the privilege of having 4 different choice programs. within our campus, and then 2 in-house programs. So what this means is basically these are courses designed to help the students that are a part of these programs be prepared through education and hands-on experience for the real world within those fields. Now, if you are a part of the Academies program and you know you are within one of these programs, you already know that. You know you have a seat, you're going to see it on your schedule. If you don't know anything about this, then just don't listen to me for the next little part of it. This more pertains to the students who are within these academies. If you go to the next slide, if you are within these academies, you're going to be hearing a lot from me this school year and throughout your time here at Wellington High School. In order to stay within the academies, obviously this is you stepping above being the cream of the crop. You do have to meet the requirements to remain within those academies. So 2.5 GPA within the academy classes and an overall 2.0 GPA for your overall course. You do need to keep up with your attendance. Excessive absences are going to be frowned upon. They're not going to be handled well. And then also stay within the Wellington way, within our behavior, and making sure that we behave within campus or on campus. Now, if you do not follow these contract terms, which everyone within the Academies program is going to have to sign a contract at the beginning of the school year, then there is the chance that you would then be on a probation. And if you do not fix whatever got you on probation by the end of your probation terms, then you'll be subjected to an exit committee where we basically decide, are you going to stay within the program or not? So if you are within the Academies program, especially if you are an out-of-bounds student, we're so excited to have you at Wellington. It's a great opportunity, but just to make sure that you're very well aware and you keep an eye out for the emails from me regarding your contracts and how it's going to be at Wellington. Up next is Mr. Rates.
It's not. No, no. I know it keeps there.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm going to be very brief with this, but as we all know, education is a partnership between parents and students, and we have a wonderful tool for parents to keep up on their students' studies, and that's through the SIS Gateway. You were sent a PDF form via email to the email that you have listed on file with us, and it went out on Monday at 7:30 a.m. It has a PIN code that you're going to need to set this up. If you've previously set up SIS Gateway with the school district school, i.e. the middle schools, Landings, or Polo, then you're all set up. But if you haven't set one up, we highly encourage all parents to set up an account because it'll give you real-time access to all their grades. And then it'll also, when you click on the grade, it'll give a list of the assignments that they have to do. And oftentimes teachers put descriptions and links to that particular assignment. So please, if you did not receive a PIN, reach out to me at johnrates@palmbeachschools.org. And if you have an account, but you forgot the password, this slideshow will be going out to the rest of you. And you can click on the link that's listed here to reset it. Next slide, please. Students can change their password a number of different ways, and I'll be very brief about this because I believe that I'm speaking more to the parents right now. But on August 11th, all students will be prompted to change their passwords. It will go back to the district default, which I'm not going to say live over the air right now, but students know what that is. And if anybody needs help, no problem, contact anybody at the school. They can do this on a Windows device at school with Control-Alt-Delete. It'll change their password. They could do it on their Chromebook in the bottom left corner. Next slide. There'll be a quick illustration of this. It says SDPVC password change on the little button that says apps there. Next slide, please. And the third, I didn't add that, but there's a third way. If you could still get into your portal and your password is up to date, in the top right corner of the actual portal, you can click on your icon that says your name, and there's also a change password button, just like there is on the Chromebooks. Next slide. Volunteers, all volunteers, go back one more time, sorry. All volunteers, and again, volunteers are extremely important to this school. This doesn't just happen on its own. It takes a village, and ironically, we are a village, but we really do have an involved parent population. And to reiterate what Ms. Hayden said earlier, we don't want just anybody on campus. We take the safety of your children extremely seriously. And we want to make sure that all proper channels are followed before someone comes on campus. So if you are going to volunteer, you would register through Miss Diaz, that's Jennifer M. Diaz at Palm Beach Schools, and you will check in through the Raptor system at either our single point of entry or at the guardhouse out by the road. Next slide. And it's with great pleasure and honor that I get to announce Miss Gemma Ford, our Activities Director.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Gemma Ford. I'm the Activities Director here at Wellington High School. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the Wellington High School PTSA. It's an organization outside of Wellington High School led by volunteers who work to make our students' lives a little easier here on campus and also the teachers. We have 3 dedicated board members. You can see their names up on the screen. You may be getting some emails from them. I promise you they're all lovely people and are really trying to do some good things around here on campus. If you would like to become a member, you can see the QR code right there on the screen. One of their first fundraisers is actually going to be the Pure Vita bracelets that you also see on the screen. If you would like to purchase, you can scan that QR code and you will be taken to it. The very first PTSA meeting is on August 15th at 7 p.m. in the Wellington High School Media Center. The Wellington PTSA would love for all of you to show up and learn about their organization. So let's talk about activities a little bit more. We are still in the process of getting our clubs and honor societies scheduled on campus. We have over 50 clubs and honor societies. Our goal is to have every student join at least one of them. We have Club Rush taking place tonight in person. You're going to get a chance to see a couple of our clubs and a lot of our sports. But on campus, every single student during both lunches on September 7th and 8th is going to get an opportunity to visit with every single club and honor society we have on campus. Upcoming dates. These are things people really want to know about. So August 10th, we're going to be excited. It's the first day of school. September 13th is the open house where you get to come and meet your students, teachers, kind of follow their schedule. And we have homecoming week coming up. October 30th to November 3rd is homecoming here on Wellington High School campus. The homecoming parade and football game is on that Friday, November 3rd. The homecoming dance is on November 4th. You're going to get more information soon. Homecoming is open to any student currently enrolled and attending Wellington High School. Seniors, exciting information. Prom is April 6th this year, and Grad Bash is April 19th. That more information is going to be coming out as we get closer. Cap and gown sales for seniors. This is important. Every single graduating senior needs to purchase a cap and gown. You can't use one that somebody has used in the past. But the good thing is that you do get to keep your cap and gown. The first date that we have for students to be able to purchase them on campus, September 14th and 15th during both lunches. And after school, if parents would like to actually go with them in the Media Center, September 18th from 5 to 7. You can also purchase them anytime online, and the link when this presentation is emailed out to you is right down there at the bottom, Perf Jones Cap and Gown Sales. Looking forward to seeing you all soon. Next up is Coach Robert Kolobi, our Athletics Director.
As Ms. Ford said, I am Coach Kolobi, our Wellington High School's Athletic Director. We're going to talk about a little bit about some of the sports that we offer. So our fall sports are all starting, if not have not started already. If you have missed a tryout, I believe our football team and girls volleyball have had tryouts. But if you miss those tryouts, if you reach out to those coaches, they will set up another time for you to come out. Our swimming, cross country, golf, and bowling will all be starting very soon, though. So you need to make sure that if you have not reached out to those coaches, you'll see that QR in that bottom left corner. You can scan that for a list of all of our coaches as well as their contact in Google Classroom so you can get the most information. We have a number of sports that start in the winter, usually around mid-October, and then our spring sports will start rolling out in January. The big thing for any of our sports is that you must have all the athletic paperwork turned in. So one of the most convenient ways to do it is through activate.com. That QR code will take you there. For our students to participate, they must have a 2.0 cumulative GPA. So any freshman that's coming in, you are immediately eligible. You do not have the GPA for high school athletics yet, but that second semester, you will have a GPA. So if you are struggling, you are not holding up in the classroom that first semester, you will not be able to participate in the spring. So this first semester and really the first year really sets the tone for you of whether or not you'll be able to compete in athletics for high school sports. Again, Activate is probably going to be the most convenient, as you'll be able to upload all of your paperwork there and get immediate feedback for whether there's something that needs to be fixed. Before you can begin, not only do you have to have the athletic registration, but you must pay the $10 $10 trial fee through School Cash Online. This goes towards the mandatory $75 athletic insurance. So once you have made a team, that athlete will then pay $65 on School Cash Online to cover the rest of the $75. So one of the big things is for our student code of conduct. So any athlete is going to be signing a form saying that they're holding themselves to kind of a higher standard than what we might hold other students to. We expect our student athletes to be model citizens on campus and to be good role models for other students. Students who struggle with that might not be able to participate in sports. We ask the same thing of the parents, really any spectator that's coming to our events. We ask that you're there to support the players, cheer them on. We discourage anyone who is having inappropriate remarks towards our coaches, opponent coaches, the opponent players, our players, officials especially, as officials are getting harder and harder to find and makes it difficult at times for us to have our events. And one of the big parts is the fan interaction with officials. So we do ask that we are making sure that when we're making comments at games, is to support our players, nothing else. None of our teams receive any funding from state, district. Everything that they raise, it is through fundraising that they are doing on their own. So all of our teams will have a maximum fair share that they are asking the parents and families to support. However, many of our teams do require a little bit more help, and they will have additional fundraising initiatives for those parents and families to be able to help and bring in the necessary funds to cover the operating costs of the season. We are a cashless school, so all of our events, as I've mentioned, we do not get any funding for our athletic teams. So not only do they have fundraising, but we do charge admission. The admission for our students is pretty low overall. We try to keep it at about $3 for most events, $5 for football games. For adults or non-students, it is $10 for a football game. For a varsity football game, every other sport is going to be $6. We do have 2 passes, one for families that start at, I think it says 100, but we've altered it to allow for family passes that bring it down a little bit more than that. That can be found on gofan.com. And we do have a student pass that's only $40 that gets you into every single sporting event throughout this entire school year. Both are available on gofan.co. I would highly suggest that if you do not have the app already, to get the GoFan app. It makes it much easier getting in games and having access to your tickets. When you are coming to our events, we do have a clear bag policy. It is very strict. So if you're coming to any of our sporting events or going to any sporting event at any district school, you must have a clear bag. Any other bag, sizable bag, unless it is for a baby, you're going to be asked to bring it back to your car. There's no food, outside food or drinks. And once you have entered, you cannot re-enter unless you have a brand new ticket. At about the halfway point of all of our games, we do not have any entry as well. These are safety policies that have been put in place. They will be enforced. Again, these are coming from the district, but make sure that when you're coming to our events, that you are prepared to follow those policies. So on our school's website, you'll find many information not only for athletics, but also for activities. We appreciate everyone watching today. We hope to see many of you tonight. At this point, we're going to have a short welcoming video to end our presentation.